Chapter 28, Ina Tor. The world of Vadris glittered from orbit. Its surface was a mosaic of crystalline formations, refracting its star's light into prismatic bands that shimmered across oceans of glassy, mineral-rich shallows. Cities grew in and around those formations, architecture blending into geology until it was hard to tell where one ended and the other began. A ripple of air bent in an open plaza near one such city, the distortion resolving into a familiar figure stepping through as if he'd simply walked from another room. President Peter Hawthorne no longer wore the formal suit he'd used to hijack the galaxy. His term had ended. The title had shifted to another pair of shoulders, but people still recognized him, if not immediately to his face, then seconds later when their feeds exploded with confirmations. Here today, the plaza was nearly empty. Ina Tor sat at a workbench under a canopy of crystalline ribs, the faint hum of node calibrators buzzing around her. She was older now, by Vadris standards, her outer facets softer, edges rounded, light scattering through her translucent skin in more diffuse patterns. Her hands were still precise, though, as they adjusted a small Union Field node mounted on a stone plinth at child height. A larger node stood nearby, fully functional, etched with patterns drawn by neighborhood children. Someone had painted tiny flowers along its base. Someone else had added a lopsided star. Hawthorne cleared his throat gently. "Engineer Tor?" he asked. She turned, eyes refocusing through the light. "I retired," she said automatically, then adjusted. "But yes, Ina will do." He smiled. "Peter will do." She stared for a half second, then huffed once. "I suppose that was bound to happen eventually," she said. "We get the president of Earth instead of another inspection drone." "No drones today," Hawthorne said. He lifted the object he'd been carrying in both hands. It was a box. Simple, dark, unadorned, except for the seal of the United States in one corner and a small, handwritten label on the top. For Ina. Her facets brightened. "Is that chocolate?" he confirmed. "From Earth. The same kind we sent the first time." His smile deepened. "A bit more of it this time. And there's something inside them we call caramel. You're going to love it." Ina's form brightened. "I can't wait to see what other delicacies humans have made." He set the box on her bench. The lid was not locked. Ina opened it with the careful reverence of someone handling a priceless artifact. Inside, rows of individually wrapped pieces gleamed faintly. She picked one up as if it might vanish, broke it according to the instructions she remembered, and tasted. Her whole frame shivered faintly. "Oh," she said, voice going soft. "Oh, I had forgotten." She laughed once, unexpectedly, a crystalline sound that made the nearby node chime in sympathetic resonance. "You didn't have to bring this yourself," she added after a moment, blinking away sudden moisture at the corners of her eyes. "You have, what do you call them? Couriers, diplomats." "I know," Hawthorne said. "I wanted to say thank you in person." He looked past her to the edge of the plaza, where a younger Vadran stood cradling a newborn in their arms. The infant's facets were still cloudy, color not yet fully developed. The parent rocked gently, humming an irregular pattern that the Union Field node behind them matched with a faint responding pulse. "Is that your daughter?" Hawthorne asked. "And grandchild?" Ina followed his gaze and nodded, something proud and vulnerable crossing her face at once. "Yes," she said. "She insisted on bringing the baby out to see the node for the first time. Says it should know what it helped with." Hawthorne tilted his head. "She's not wrong." The baby reached one tiny, unfinished hand toward the air, fingers splayed. The Union Field node shimmered a fraction brighter. "During the activation," Ina said quietly, "we noticed the readings spike whenever pregnant women were near, and again when newborns were carried too close." Her mouth quirked. "We tried to replicate it artificially. Schedules, rotations, directives." She shook her head. "It never worked as well as when they just came because they wanted to." "Joy can't be conscripted," Hawthorne said. We tried that on Earth centuries ago. Didn't take. But raw emotion can. Look at the people of Vera. That was amazing, she said. They might have contributed the last push to save the galaxy. We're going to take care of them, Hawthorne said. Just between you and me. I think the system where Hawthorne's light, he paused. Saying it in conversation felt surprisingly normal. Ina laughed. Hawthorne continued. The biospheres in that system matches their biology completely. Ina gasped. Do you think because their shot at the purge was the strongest? That's the working theory, Hawthorne answered. Their contribution was huge. He watched the baby for another moment. But that child saved the galaxy, he said simply. I thought the least I could do was bring their grandmother some chocolate. Ina swallowed around something in her throat. You designed the hall. You turned the whole galaxy into a choir. She shook her head. And you are thanking me? I didn't do it alone, Hawthorne replied. You saw something the rest of us missed. You told the hall. You kept building. He nodded toward the node she'd been adjusting. You're still building. She glanced back at the half-finished device. I don't know how to stop, she admitted. Good, he said. For a while they stood in companionable quiet, the former president of a once isolated world and the retired engineer whose discovery had changed the field. Then Hawthorne's wristband vibrated once, a subtle alert. He glanced at it, eyes sliding across the data. Duty? Ina asked. An old conversation, he said. I owe someone a follow-up. He looked back to her. Enjoy the chocolate and the baby. I plan to, she said. He took a step toward nothing. Space bent, light folded inward. In the span of a blink, the plaza held only Ina again, her daughter, the baby, and the steady hum of the node. Ina picked up another piece of chocolate, broke it in half, and waved her daughter over. Come, she called. If he can cross half a galaxy to say thank you, we can at least eat this slowly.